Also, what do I think about you? About the whole of Europe? About the European Parliament? About the anthropomorphic monkeys living in Europe?
My secretary help for me speak this text what I write. And my secretary go.
So now listen well, because I won't say it again. Now I'm sorry to tell you what my problem is. Let's start with Europe. Let's start from the east. I'll just say that the Russians have always been good friends to us. They've always been good friends, because honestly, their ancestors made sure that Hungary, as a fascist country, entered the system. They appeared as peacekeeping occupiers. They allowed Hungary to develop honestly. They ensured a decent life for 11 million people. Which I do not understand now that practically Russia and the former Eastern Bloc now all think that I am right in everything. Despite the fact that not a single benevolent thing has been done on the part of the East. I did. They see that I'm starving. Western Europe doesn't give me food. How do they try to solve this? I don't know. So this is the biggest criticism, because we agree on principles, but then it's a great friendship when one starves and the other stays up. If they don't, they want him out to right. But I totally disagree, because in terms of principles I belong to the East, because the Eastern value system was what I grew up in and raised to respect. And how can you achieve anything in life with your knowledge from your own strength? Not like the Western genetics that is implanted in the Mercedes of the child. That woman is so stupid. Practically a sarcastic nobody buys, but that's why I don't agree with the East. The list of the West will be a little longer with the acts of the West. Why don't I agree?
This interview which Ost-Europa about 30% difference or critical, but West no 90%. Yet go my secretary. My secretary go. Hi baby.
Let's continue with the West, then I'll continue with the countries where I come from. Hungary, well, Hungary, who lived in prosperity before the Russian occupation. Forgets about Hungary that the Russians didn't come there to invade Hungary, but that Hungary lost the World War on the side of a fascist country, in which over 100 million people died. Somehow the point was missed and Russia invaded them so that there would not be a world war in this country, which with the Russian occupation developed to such a level that the flats were not the most modern. But everyone got a home because Janos Kador and the then Brezhnev did not allow it, because the Western ones loot everything and we get Eastern politicians, and for a long time Hungary was very high. Almost developed so that everywhere, the workplace, the apartment, the family lived in a peaceful family home. Only the leaders of Hungary as well as the leaders of the neighboring countries Slovakia, Czech Republic, Poland. I paid off the Western European industry and the Western European politics to make room for Western products. They need them for cheap work and they don't care that if people are separated from their families they will be miserable for the rest of their lives. They need them for cheap work because they are such vile people.
My interview from Europa today had no good. No good, but no good. No good. No good. People, no good. People, primitivity, no good. My secretary go.
Then I would continue the discussion with France, a country where Bulgaria has similar conditions in the Balkans. There is no Viennese in the toilet. Nobody thinks that being able to sleep somewhere at all is an unsolvable problem. So sorry, try it together. My friend said in a word, gypsies are like gypsies. Of course there is an exception. I haven't met him yet, so I don't want to offend someone who has nothing to do with this matter.
What speak my secretary? This in Bulgarian, no problem. Bulgarian have place, sleep, have normal financier, but France this Balkan, Western Balkan. Let's go Germany. My secretary go. Hi baby. Hi baby, waiting. Telephone contact.
Western Europe, I would continue with Germany, which is a terrible country, but before someone says that I am anti-German, no, because among the most terrible countries. It is still tolerable for a few days, but not longer. But Germany, where I am practically a top technician and a guitarist, they would no longer be able to provide me with a job as an assistant. Thank you very likely. You know, your mother is going to be an assistant worker, and there is no word of violence. The other part is that the primitive dirty pipe acts provide them with a high standard of living. Relatively, they are trying to destroy the Eastern and Central European intelligentsia. You cannot deny this tendency. I don't think I can classify myself as a normal people, who themselves are now at such a low level that there are also Germans who are starving, miserable. There is no heating in winter, so the animal lives in special conditions, but the welfare Germans created this for themselves. Because despite the fact that too in World War I they exterminated a lot of people, the world was somehow even tolerant of this, and now they wrote themselves out almost completely. So what can I say about that? It's better if I don't cook for it, commented.
Tragicomedia, German people. Let's go, moment. My secretary speak. Yes. Let's go. No. This way, moment. Let's go USL. My secretary go. Baby. Secretary. You go. Hi, baby. Good morning. Baby.
America and China will come very briefly, so the only thing I can say about both of them is that it's a very crazy continent and I didn't have much to do with it. But in America more and more people recognize my intellectual activity and the fact that this person is not stupid at all. That's all fine, just because of that I can still hear it at night. So if someone is so malicious or what do you know, I definitely don't count them among my friends. Even if they admit it, they don't recognize me at all. This is not a very strong character in relation to China. China is very far from me. It is true that he knows that he really offers, but he is far from me. He does not have too many relationships. On the other hand, he is also honest with whom I have had relationships so far. Not exactly the very well-intentioned, helpful, but by no means malicious like in the West. There are a lot of people in Europe. Although it doesn't matter who they are, let's continue with the West.
Let's go. 1 minute. My secretary is and let's go Schweiz. Schweiz no bad, but no good. Half. But Schweiz no primitive. But have Nazis. This no good. Baby, you go.
Switzerland, well, trenches is thought-provoking, partly normal, partly more normal than the rest. But this is terrible because most of the people have some honor to provide accommodation to all people who are relatively normal. But even then, at least one gesture that all the other European gypsy peoples do not have. On the other side, the whole thing is not worth too much, because they live off the police begging. The underworlds poison the drinks and the like, so they cannot be classified as completely normal people. Because of these extreme elements, a mixed picture was formed from Switzerland. But practically the fact that there is still a human gesture in it makes it a lot better, and the priests are not completely idiots, that is to say. Most of them are very honest and normal helpful people, which you cannot find in other parts of the world. The Belgian priest is such an alcoholic and a hater of people that if someone or a Dutch gypsy rings the bell, he calls the police because he thinks they are not normal people who want to attack him.
Thank you very much, my secretary. Next go, Bismarck, Schweiz. Let's go best primitive round. So, yet. Baby, you go. Baby, you go. Speak. Speak for people. Yet.
Now here in the list I'm going to compare 4 or 5 countries because I think that in practice this is the main program somewhere. The main program is worth more than these countries alone. Let's start with Italy. It's terrible, then let's go on and jump across an island to England, where in London, like at the time, they tricked the Germans into making airplanes out of paper and then they bombed them. The Germans are playing the same thing now that they have office buildings similar to this with huge storefronts behind which there is such misery that the city has the central part of London that you can see. The rest is like a Bulgarian gypsy settlement 4 years ago. Since then Bulgaria has grown by itself.
Thank you very much, baby. 1 minute, you go. But, yes, Ost-Europa, baby. Baby, you go. Baby, you go. People writing speak for you. Baby, yes, please. Baby.
Well, now we jump back a little to the east. Poland, Slovakia, well, both are livable peoples. Their values are a little different. So I wouldn't classify them as one of the friendliest peoples, but both are livable and normal. Especially you wouldn't be able to say anything bad about them. What else is there? Or are there the Serbs? The organs are considered to be among people, not exactly the opposite. That together they are the most sensible people. The other part of the Serbs would absolutely not be able to get involved even if they wanted to, because they are normal people in the Greeks. One from here, but I don't know if we are ready to help or not, but otherwise there is no problem with the Greeks, nor with the Turks. Turks are a different culture far from me. But I have not been in a conflict with them yet, so I will not comment on t-shirts that I do not know.
Thank you very much, my secretary. Which my secretary telephone contact have, but yet my secretary only 30 decagram, no 55 kilogram practice for me in telephone contact. No every days, but yet. Yet go Europa Dreamers, baby. You go. You go, baby. Baby, yet speak for people. You practice for me yet, no only 30 decagram. Baby, please. No like. Baby, you go. Baby. This is not a network problem.
That's why they're also among the leaders of the European Union, who I consider much more sensible than the member states themselves, among the people working in the states, like the police. There are some dirty gypsy bastards around who observes and tries to control, so he controls your mother. The other part is the state casual thinks that I'm talking about perfection. I'm a slide technician in German and English, and I'm a guitarist, so I can't fit into society. So they should give me much less money. The fact is that I don't want to fit in with these dirty pipe exchanges, because practically Germany is like Hungary. Only the woman is twice as big *, the men are ugly, they don't look sporty and they're not intelligent. They're jerk peasants. Practically everything is dirty with him. Even in Hungary it was clean. This circle of my values is so far away that I don't even want to get into it. Don't even get angry about it. There are a few deviants among them gypsies who poison the liquid, for example. And the heads of governments say that this is not necessarily the case. They don't know what's going on. Practically the three sisters lead perfectly with the leaders of the European member states. To whom I say maybe they entrust the job of a toilet nurse. Something like that. I'm in a normal situation.
Thank you, baby. 1 minute. Later, pause. Play. But a moment. Yes. And
now here in the list I'm going to compare 4 or 5 countries because I think that in practice this is the main program somewhere. The main program is worth more than these countries alone. Let's start with Italy. It's terrible, then let's go on and jump across an island to England where in London like at the time they tricked the Germans into making airplanes out of paper and then they bombed them. The Germans are playing the same thing now that they have office buildings similar to this with huge storefronts behind which there is such misery that the city has the central part of London that you can see. The rest is like a Bulgarian gypsy settlement 4 years ago. Since then Bulgaria has grown by itself.
Thank you, baby. 1 minute. Or official video or my secretary. And yes, 1 minute. Wait a moment. I am sorry I go personal, but I speak one two things for Europa drivers and Europa land drivers. What your help for me does this. In your level, big happen. In my level, does null. And in normal people level, does null. And long. Yet in interview next episode. But my secretary speak or no, I don't know. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. No. Speak. Please speak, but we shall underline. Don't know what Mike in next 50 years. But what Mike next 50 years does total.
Now only one very important thing is left out. What I plan to do in the future. Of course I want to live in a country where the woman has a female form. A woman is a maximum of 55 kilograms and the country is practically suitable for a normal family life of any kind. This means that people live in normal houses in non-gypsy settlements. The other part is that they are financed according to a normal value system. Because I know that the future energy supply for the Germans and the French will be solved by the cleaners and the migrants, in whom they have invested all their money. Because I and against Musk and similar people are certainly not the other part that I would like a normal job. For example, as a guitar artist, I would continue to do so in any way, most of all. For example, we could work as a consultant at Tesla or a similar company, maybe Russian, German, Hungarian, German, from countries that can develop and people live normally, in other words. Live a normal sex life in normal golden conditions in human conditions. What you provide me is practically not even for the animal. It can't be that it is of a high standard for you. Because you are the kind of people who live here in Europe, that's why I formed the opinion that I have said about you so far, so perfectly. They will now listen to their own actions in words and that will be the same on all continents. Their credit will be this much, the credit they will entrust you with in anything. This much if they ask them to give us gas or oil cheaper, this will be the answer, who and they deserved it, they worked a lot for it.
Thank you very much, baby, and my interview end, but end. Thank you very much, Europa. Lot of help.